Buckle in. This is going to be heavy, long, and brutal. The Butcher of Balaton, Marc Marquez's sprint massacre. When they built Balaton Park, they probably thought it was a track for the future. New lines, new corners, a new chapter for MotoGP. But what they didn't realize is that Marc Marquez doesn't care about new. He bends it. He takes something unfamiliar, and within minutes, he owns it like he's ridden there for years. Today in Hungary, he didn't just win a sprint. He cut the entire grid open, piece by piece, and showed once again why he is not just fast, not just precise. He is the most terrifying man to ever swing a leg over a MotoGP bike. Let's start with the obvious. Marc Marquez has now won 13 sprints out of 14 in 2025, 12 of those in a row. That's not dominance. That's dictatorship. That's tyranny on two wheels. That's the kind of record that doesn't just win titles, it erases hope. And Balaton, a track no one knew how to tame, was the perfect stage for him to show why no rider on earth belongs in the same sentence as him right now. Everyone said, Acosta the man, Marquez. Sent him to the gravel. Let's rewind to yesterday. Pedro Acosta, the rookie godchild, the new Marquez as every lazy headline called him, was fastest in free practice. People whispered, maybe this was the weekend Marc finally cracks. Maybe Balaton belongs to the new blood. Marc heard it all. He smiled. Then he lined up in Q2, let Acosta glue himself to his rear wheel, and like a gangster setting a trap, he dragged him into the gravel. Snap. Confidence destroyed. Acosta ended up 5th fastest. Lesson learned. You don't follow Marc Marquez. You don't copy Marc Marquez. You bleed if you try. And that's exactly what the sprint proved. When the lights went out, chaos erupted. Quartararo came flying into turn 1 like a man with no brakes, hitting Bastianini, nearly tagging Bezzecchi, and almost taking Marquez out. Anyone else would have panicked, sat up, run wide. Not Marc. He tucked in deeper, colder, like nothing happened. That's the difference between boys and killers. He left turn 1 already half a second clear, and from that moment, the race was finished. Hashtag the 2-second execution. They call Jorge Martin the Saturday man. Last year, the guy was untouchable over 1 lap. You wanted a time attack? You called Martin. But even Martin at his peak never did what Marc is doing now. Balaton wasn't just a sprint win, it was an execution. Marquez built a lead of 0.8 seconds instantly. By lap 8, he was more than 2 seconds up, and then he just held it, controlled it, like a matador letting the bull run in circles, knowing the final strike was already guaranteed. At the flag, the stopwatch read 2.095 seconds over Fabio Di Giannantonio. In sprint racing, that's an eternity. That's half the grid suffocating, praying for him to slow down, knowing he never would. And here's the thing, he didn't even look like he was sweating. His only trouble was a track limits warning on lap 8. That's it. No challengers, no drama, no pressure. Just a Ducati with the number 93 on it, hammering out lap times no one else could touch. Shut the fuck up about the bike. Now, the cheap talk will start again. Oh, but he's on a Ducati. Anyone could do this. Really? Then explain this. Pecco Bagnaia, his own teammate, 2-time world champion, was 13th today. Lost before the plane even touched down in Hungary. He's not even on the same planet. Jorge Martin, Aprilia's golden boy, reigning champion, started 17th, fought like hell, and managed 9th. The guy who was the fastest man on Saturdays last year is now clinging to scraps. Alex Marquez, Marc's own blood, supposedly revitalized this season, finished 8th. Pedro Acosta, the next Marquez, crashed trying to fight Jorge Martin for 10th. So what's the excuse now? Same tires, same track, same conditions. Everyone struggling to learn the lines. Everyone slipping in dirty corners. Everyone complaining. Everyone except Marc. There hasn't been a single negative about him since the season started. Not one. Every race, every sprint, every session, he's locked in. That's not the bike. That's blood, sweat, and something in his DNA no one else has. Number's 12 sprints, 6 weekends, straight fire. Look at the numbers. 6 straight weekends where Marc has won both the sprint and the race. That's 6 clean sweeps. That's unheard of. That's freakish. And now, 12 sprints in his pocket, 13 total this season. Jorge Martin, the so-called Saturday King, has 16 sprint wins overall in his career. Marc just snatched 12 of them in one single year. That's not racing history being written. That's racing history being rewritten in blood. The ghost on the brakes. Here's where Marc is killing the field. It's not just corner entry. It's not just exits. It's the ghost on the brakes. Watch the replay. Every single rider prays for him to make a mistake. They sit 2-3 tenths behind, waiting for him to run wide, miss a line, twitch, but it never comes. Not anymore. This isn't the reckless Marquez from 2019, who'd crash just to prove a point. This is the matured assassin. When he fixes his line, when he's locked into rhythm, he is untouchable. You can't follow him. You can't outbrake him. You can't beat him. The only one who can is himself, and he's not giving that chance anymore. That's why no one attacks him. Watch the body language of the grid. When Marc leads, they accept defeat. They fight for second, third, fourth. They don't even look at him. He's a ghost, a shadow too fast to chase. Runaway? No. Blood earned. Some fools call him a runaway champion. As if this was handed to him, as if Ducati just gave him a golden ticket. Bullshit. This is the hardest working man in MotoGP. 5 years of surgeries, crashes, doubts, whispers about retirement. He walked through all of it, hungry like a lion waiting for prey. When he stepped onto the factory Ducati, it wasn't comfort, it was vengeance. He took the fastest bike and turned it into his personal weapon. Not once has he slipped. Not once has he looked broken. That's not luck. That's obsession. Everyone else exposed. Balaton exposed everyone else. Pecco Bagnaia, once Ducati's golden boy, now looks like a man who's forgotten how to fight. Jorge Martin, spent all last year sprinting to glory, now looks like a rider who doesn't even know how to qualify. Pedro Acosta, rookie aura shattered. He followed Marc once, hit the gravel, and the next Marquez myth is already burning. The rest, scrapping 2 seconds back, fighting over podiums that don't matter because the win is already sealed before turn 1. Every name you put forward gets dismantled by Marc's existence. The video game illusion. That's the craziest part. Watching Marc now is like watching a video game on level 1 difficulty. It looks easy. Too easy. He tucks in, glides through corners, never misses a mark, never gets rattled. And then you look at the stopwatch, and he's 2 seconds clear while the rest are fighting for air. That's what makes it terrifying. It looks effortless, but it's not. It's blood, pain, precision, and madness blended into one man. Half the job is done in Hungary. The sprint was just a warm-up. Tomorrow is the real bloodbath. If Marc could put 2 seconds on the field in 13 laps, imagine what he'll do over full race distance. There's no saving tires, no maybe he'll fade. He's in beast mode. He's already stretching his lead in the championship to ridiculous levels, but it's not points he's chasing anymore. It's humiliation. It's history. No one born to beat him. Let's say it straight. In this era, there's no one born to beat Marc Marquez. Not Acosta, not Martin, not Bagnaia, not anyone. The only rider who can end Marc is Marc. A crash, a mistake, that's the only opening. Otherwise, forget it. Championships don't exist when he's around. They're just delayed confirmations of what everyone already knows. Misano awaits. And here's the perfect ending. Misano is coming. Rossi's backyard. The same place where a decade-long war of words and bloodlines has festered. On paper, the math still says the title could stretch further. If Alex Marquez, his own brother, somehow strung together a perfect run of second-place finishes, the championship might be delayed beyond Misano. But let's be real. At Marc's current form, that's not happening. Misano looks like the place where the championship fight dies, 6 races early. And here's the beauty of it. Misano isn't just another stop on the calendar. It's Valentino Rossi's fortress. The track where the doctor built his legend, where his academy now marches in numbers. For Marquez to close the book there, in Rossi's backyard, is the ultimate revenge. The perfect thank you to Rossi for every ounce of disrespect, politics, and bagging that followed him since 2015. Marc has the crown in his hands already. Misano will just be the public beheading. Marc Marquez doesn't race anymore. He hunts, he butchers, he rules. Balaton Park was just another crime scene. Tomorrow, expect the massacre to continue. Word count, 46650.